Hi, my name is Michelle Turner. I am a realtor in the Asheville area, powered by EXP. And I am here today to talk about first-time home buyers. They're one of my favorites to work with because I like to be able to walk them through the process because it can get a little overwhelming. That being said, one of my favorite lenders to work with is Cody Fox with Atlantic Bay Home Mortgage. And we're just going to talk you through some of the steps. So a lot of people think that, they see a house on Zillow and they put their numbers in and look at that mortgage calculator for that cute little house and they think I can make those payments like rent and that they can just go out and pick that house. And that's not really how it works. You really need to speak to a lender and have an actual pre-approval letter in hand before you can do anything. You can find a realtor that you like and they'll recommend a lender for you, or you can go to the lender first and then find a realtor that you like. In my case, when I get a client that hasn't found a lender that they like, I always recommend Cody. Cody doesn't work like a banker. He doesn't work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So when we find that house on a Saturday, he's going to answer the phone and be able to help us write a letter to make an offer for that house, because that's not how buying a house works. It works 7 days a week. So Cody, why don't you talk us through the process and what they need to get that letter?
Absolutely. What we do is we get underwriting involved with the approval letter. They are at the very beginning of the process, and they're the ones that make the decision. They're the ones that look at everything in black and white and make that decision that you can repay the loan back. A lot of banks and other lenders out there may not make this step at the beginning, and you don't know that you have that full approval until you actually go under contract. We're already getting those potential hurdles out of the way early on so that you can really go and shop for a house and have that peace of mind that you're not going to run into any problems. We get items like, and everybody's situation is different, but we get items like your W-2s, your pay stubs, and any other income that we need to verify, where the down payment's coming from, whether that is from your savings or from your retirement account or maybe a gift. And then we look at your credit as well.
So pre-approval is everything. And I actually had a client back in the day that came in with his lender and had a pre-qualified letter. We had an offer on the table for a house that he loved. The offer was accepted. The earnest money was put down. We're partway into it. And then his lender calls and says, oh, well, she missed something because she didn't actually take the extra steps to pre-approve it. She had only pre-qualified it. And so I, had to explain to this heartbroken guy that he wasn't getting this house he was in love with. And that's a big part of why it's very important to find a good lender and the right lender for you. And Cody can do anything from conventional loans to VA loans. So it's not like you only are stuck with one kind of loan. If you're qualified for other types of loans, USDA, FHA, he can do that.
What I find too is when you're doing your research, you may hone in on a particular loan program, like FHA is the one that I want to use. And in your research it does sound good, but we look at all the different programs to make sure that that's a good fit for you. If you are a first-time home buyer too, there's a lot of down payment assistance options that are out there that may be a good fit for you too, that we can pair with one of these, and that's just going to be based on your situation.
Okay, Cody. So can you go into a little more detail about the steps of the pre-approval process?
Yeah, so with the pre-approval, we do start with sort of a pre-qualification to get an idea of where your numbers are. But again, that pre-qualification is just based on what you provided. So if you tell me you make $1 million a year, then we need the documentation to back that up. The reason the approval is so important is because we do go through the process of getting all the, whether it's the pay stubs, the W-2s, the bank statements from you to verify where all that's coming from. We also don't do a hard pull on your credit during that approval process. Now, once you go under contract, there is going to be a hard inquiry on your credit to make sure that nothing's changed. So don't let anybody pull your credit during this time, but we do a soft pull to make sure that the credit looks fine. And let's say the credit isn't where we want it to be, maybe. We will do a what's called a rescore process. I will analyze the credit report for you and let you know where we can improve the score so that you are bringing your best to that approval and making that approval look better to the underwriter. Now, once we've gotten all that taken care of, we've gotten the documentation in and we send it to the underwriter. It usually takes them about 2 to 3 days to get back, sometimes as quickly as 24 hours, but usually 2 to 3 days to get in line with the underwriter. And then they issue that what's called a conditional approval. Now, there may be things that we missed. We're human,
Right.
human. And that is what that conditional approval letter that includes that it appraises for enough, you have insurance on the house, the title work is clear, and maybe we need an explanation for a large deposit that's on your account. You're still approved, but we still may need items up and until closing to make sure that we're documenting everything correctly. With that approval letter too, that's exactly what Michelle will need when she goes to put an offer in on a house for you. What we do as well, let's say you're approved for $300,000 maybe, and you find a house for $280,000. We don't want to show the seller that you're approved for more. So she would reach out to me, whether it's the evening or Saturday or Sunday when you're looking at a house, and say, hey, we're putting an offer in for the $280,000. I'll generate a letter for the $280,000, send it over, and so again, we're not showing the cards to the seller.
That's right. So Cody, if they want to reach out to you to get approved, can you go ahead and give us an idea of some do's and don'ts if they're coming to get approved for a home?
Absolutely. So once you're approved, and even prior to, we ask a couple things of you that just to not hinder your approval, because we're basing this on information that you provided us. Don't change jobs during this, because that could, if we're using the income from the current job and you change jobs, then that could mess up the numbers that we're looking at. Don't have your credit pulled during this process either, because we're using the amount that you have outgoing that's shown on your credit. If you have your credit pulled, it may mess up those numbers with the debt to income, again, just like with the income. Don't co-sign for anybody else, because if you co-sign for somebody, that is your debt, and it is going to, again, mess up that debt to income. And one of the big ones that you don't think about, but don't move your money to one account. You can have it and leave it alone and seven different accounts if you want to. We can verify that, and then you can move it to one account later. I don't need to see it all in one place, because we've got to trace all that back to where those funds came from. If you've got cash hid away under your mattress in a coffee can buried in your backyard, don't put that in your bank account either, because we've got to know where it comes from, and cash cannot be sourced very easily. So just be prepared. If you do any of these items, we're going to ask questions, and there's going to be more documentation, and it can be a little more frustrating for you during the process to have to provide more documentation after you already have.
Right. One of the big ones I've seen is, don't, get under contract on a house and get so excited that you go out and buy a whole new household of furniture, because if we haven't closed yet, that's gonna ding you.
And you may need those funds to close too.
That's right. That's
so
right.
Don't go buy a new car, because I don't want you to have to be sleeping in it.
Right. Do all those things after we close.
After close.
That's
After
right.
close. Get in the house,
That's
get the keys in hand.
That's right. That's right. Well, I hope we provided you some great information today to help get you started. I'm going to have all of Cody's contact information as well as a link if you want to go ahead and do the application process straight from the link on the website. And we look forward to seeing you. You know, let us know if we can answer any questions. We're easily reachable, email, text, phone call, whatever works best for you.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, have a great day.